Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, 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 how you doing? How you
Uh,
doing? Like you can
how you
talk
doing?
back.
It has been it's been a bit. I feel like we always
Been
say
a
it's been a
bit.
bit,
I
and we
know.
always say we're going to get back on track. But the fact of the
But
matter is that things have been crazy, and we spent 20 minutes before recording this talking about how there's not much really else to talk about other than what's been going on in Israel, because
yeah,
it
right.
kind
Like
of
I feel
takes over
like
your life.
there were a lot of times where it was like, we're totally gonna get back on track and everything, but obviously like when the war and everything broke out here, now soon we're gonna be coming up onto 3 months. It's just been like consuming like everyone's lives, like within the Jewish world and us in Israel. It's just been like crazy. We're still working and everything. Like, there's been times where like in my office we have like a siren and we all go to the bomb shelter and when it's over, then we get up and we continue our work or continue our meetings.
Right.
It's very nonchalant. It's been like that for like almost 3 months that I feel like we're in such a robotic state and just doing what we're supposed to be doing. And it's, what else are you supposed to do? But like I feel like it's there's going to be a lot of trauma for a lot of people um, when this comes to an end, hopefully soon, whenever that
Right.
is. But yeah, and as an American and someone who's gay and someone who's Jewish, just like watching the news and seeing everything that's happening and seeing how it's continuously reported, and not even the news anymore. It's just people on social media, people who I thought I was friends with, people who like it's just like it's mind boggling. Like the kinds of things that people say, people who literally have no idea what the hell they're talking about, have never been to this country, and it's horrifying. And it's like, I remember when I was leaving America and like in 2016, I used to always say it feels like everyone just totally forgot about 9/11. Like that, like they just totally forgot. And here it's literally been less than 3 months and people have forgotten about October 7th. That never happened. It's
Right.
literally somehow it's been portrayed as like Israel was just bored one day. We were like, you know what? Let's just go into Gaza and just totally destroy all these people. So not like that at all in the least bit. It's psychotic that people even have that a thing. And like the fact that they keep talking about the civilians, it's like there is no other army I could think of that has been more humane or has done more to prevent any civilians being hurt or affected than the Israeli army.
Which in and of
We've
itself
get
is something that could be argued whether or not it should even be considered in war.
literally we like throwing down flyers, sending them down south, giving them a 24-hour window. We end up giving them over a week. So many different things. Hamas uses their own people as human shields. They don't treat their own people well. They talk about the rubble and this and that. Well, they have plenty of freaking rockets to humanitarian crisis. How do they have so many rockets still? And the place is like rubble. And it's just like, it's mind boggling and it's crazy. And at the same time, being here and experiencing it, I also feel like, oh my God, I can't even complain because all the families who have loved ones who are either murdered, kidnapped, or have no idea what their status is, or who are in the army fighting for this and they have no idea if they're going to come back out alive. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, then I guess compared to them, I have it really easy that I don't even have the right to be complaining or, whatever. And it's like, it's just such a crazy situation, and it's just
Right.
it's just consuming every minute of every day for everyone, and including people who are in America who are Jewish and attached to Israel. I think it's brought a lot of the Jewish community more together, which has been nice to see. um but I don't know how this could end or will end. I don't know how it can end. um and yeah, and just seeing the things that people are writing online, it's just horrifying. And like I feel like I'm living in a fever dream. Like I keep saying that, like I just feel like I'm living in a fever dream. And then all those stupid freaking professors at those universities and not even being able to say how it goes against their code of ethics to call for the genocide of Jews, and how she makes it so clear over and over and over again how it's a yes or no question and not one of them can answer it. And then Harvard backed Professor Gay, and as a Jew and as a gay, I'm offended. And it's like, the bitch has been plagiarizing tons of articles. That's coming out now. So Karma's a bitch. And it's like, but like, it's just, I feel like I'm waiting for someone to pinch me. Like, things aren't real. But like I keep saying throughout this whole thing, being here, living through this, A, feel way safer here than I would anywhere else in the world at the moment. And B, I am so glad I live here and nowhere else in the world, and sure as hell not America, that it's horrifying. Horrifying. So that's just been yeah, I feel like this time we have a really good excuse for not having an episode lately, because it's just been really insane. No one could have predicted this, and it's just been a total shit show, for lack of better words. And it's horrifying.
It's
really
probably.
horrifying.
I think it's safe to say it's been the most depressing and emotionally exhausting 2 months, almost 3 months of our lives, of my life, very, very easily.
Yeah.
With everything going on. I mean, on top of like already just normal life issues that you deal with, to have all this thrown on top, and like, as Sheldon can elaborate on, as he has obviously before, because we're so close together as a Jewish people, it's only a matter of time until you start knowing people or who got injured or lost their lives, or who were kidnapped, or it's just a matter of time. And we're literally losing soldiers every day. Part of the reason being because we're going to great efforts to avoid needlessly killing civilians. And it's not enough. It's not enough for the world. So I think most of us are realizing now they hate us. They're going to hate us forever. It's probably never going to stop. It's the same thing that's been going on for thousands of years. But at least this time we have a country and an army.
Like, that's something that, like, you know, we've dealt with for so long. We've accepted it and have been handling it in the best way possible. And the fact that it's as though somehow we're just causing this mass genocide for no reason. And it's like, it's just like, it's mind boggling. And the thing that's so crazy is, like, the first things that were like attacked was like the Nova Festival. And like, the majority of the people there, like, weren't religious and are very liberal. And it's like, it's literally a festival about love and peace. And it's like the fact that those people that were once attacked, they have nothing to do with occupation or any of that stuff. There were people who weren't even Jewish. Like, there were 10 Filipino women that were murdered in one of the kibbutzim, or a couple of the kibbutzim, and it's like, they just took anyone, kidnapping babies. All the people that they kidnapped, they weren't people who were in combat. They weren't soldiers. These were just regular people, and including older people, children and babies, and women. And it's like, then people are talking about calling for a ceasefire. How do you call for a ceasefire when these people are still kidnapped? And like, it's just not even a thing. And yet, even recently, like, you know, when we came up with a plan to look into a ceasefire, Hamas even rejected it. So it's like, and yet somehow the world's still looking at it. And sadly, living in Israel, like, this is how we're usually used to the world reacting, but this time it's just so much worse, and it's such a larger situation. So like, when they first started, like, we were all watching the news every day, waiting for the waves to turn, or the tide to turn, because, you know, I mean, Biden's been very steadfast with his support, which is great and everything, but he's feeling a lot of pressure now, and you know, but he was steadfast with his support. It was pretty surprising, but it was like we were all holding our breath, because it's just a matter of time till the world turns against Israel, as per usual. And yet it didn't take it like turned in no time. And it's like, it's
in the first week, it was already, people are already arguing on social media, these pictures aren't real, this is AI generated, they're making shit up.
Like, literally psychotic. Like, psychotic. I don't get it. I don't get it. I used to always wonder, like, how did Hitler, like, convince so many people, or how did he brainwash so many people, or like all these things? And then when all this is happening, it's like, oh, okay, not that difficult after all.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the difference also between now and then, is that Hitler didn't convince that many people as much as a lot of people just remained silent and were complacent in a lot of what took place. But nowadays, when you have social media as a tool to influence so many people and spread a message to so many people who literally have no idea left from right. They don't
I
know
know,
what's
but
flying.
honestly, people who turn a blind eye are just, ignorance is bliss. They're just as bad, if not worse,
100%.
than the people who do
100%.
the damage.
I was speaking about this with a family member of mine, with my father-in-law, I believe. I was speaking about it. He was saying also it's a silent majority that often allows everything to take
Because
place.
your silence speaks louder than you could ever imagine.
Yep, 100%. And it's happened throughout history. So hopefully this time with our own state, with our own land, with our own government and army, at least now we can defend ourselves and continue to defend ourselves, even though the world continues to spout lies.
But it's just like, it's crazy. Like you said, it's getting closer and closer. Like 3 days ago, like one of my coworkers, his nephew died in Gaza. Last Friday night, I was eating with my friend Razy at our cousin's house, and we're eating this guy, Danny, really nice guy. And he was telling us how he just got back from Gaza and everything. I'm like, oh, that's so crazy. And then he continued, he like legit just got back from Gaza like a few hours before then. And I'm like, oh my God, he lost so many of his friends, like, and it's crazy. And like, I don't even know how he's like, even like just like functioning and having meal, any energy. And it's like, my friend Rami that I worked with at Zesty when I worked there, like we were supposed to hang out on October 7th. We were going to hang out that day. And he's been in Gaza ever since.
You haven't spoken to him?
So
it's crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like, with a lot of people. And it's just really crazy. It's just like a really, like, that's the thing. It's just, there's really no way of describing any of this. There's really no words. And then you have Hezbollah dealing with us up in the north, trying to get in on this action. And it's like Hezbollah is backed by Iran, who has a shrek ton of money, but like Lebanon can't afford to be getting involved in this shit. Their economy is already a complete shit show. And after they had that huge explosion on their Namal, like their port, that huge explosion, they couldn't even afford that. They're like the currencies for shit, everything's for shit. They cannot be getting involved with this. And then you have all the Houthis from Yemen who are attacking U.S. ships. People in America, I guess, just don't care about that. And it's also causing a lot of issues in the global change supply. And then they put out this whole really tacky, like bootleg looking Mission Impossible video out, like threatening America.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really embarrassing. And I guess everyone just doesn't care about that.
Crazy.
So, 49 Arab countries. How come nobody wants to take them?
Even Saudi Arabia now. You heard what happened with Mahmoud Abbas?
No, what happened with him?
Saudi Arabia and the UAE told Mahmoud Abbas he needs to step down and dissolve the PLO, and they're going to put in place a Saudi and UAE controlled government because it's trash. You have Saudis that are going out there saying that Palestine is not a legitimate place. The Jews have always lived in Israel. It's mentioned in the Quran. You can't just come along. That's why, like, Israel was never. It's not mentioned in the Quran. It's not even. It's just not. It's not mentioned in the Quran. Just like a piece of land that they're trying to. They came along at a certain point, and now they're trying to say that we came in and oppressed and colonized and are ethnically cleansing. My guy, if
Doesn't
we wanted
that remind
to ethnically
you of America?
cleanse, if we wanted to ethnically cleanse and kill civilians in Gaza, they would have been gone 2 decades ago.
Gone.
Well, after Gush Katif was given,
if we decided today, right? Gush Katif, what's that? People forgot about that. People talk about how horrible conditions they lived in. We didn't give it to them like that. It was an $110 million a year business. It was crazy what they had there.
Well, even in Gaza, you had really nice areas, and then where most of the people lived who didn't get any money. I mean, there are pictures of tunnels that are lined with concrete bags with the UNWRA's name on it. Like, where do you think all the aid and the help from the UN or from donations, like, where do you think it's going?
Thanks, UN, supporting terrorists.
The UN is an absolute joke. At this point, it's like
freaking joke. I don't know why any of us are involved with any of that. It's disgusting. And they are all one-sided psychopaths. I cannot. That's really my mindset with everything at the moment. all of that. But those professors, I was just like, could you imagine America if it was the same case, but the woman was asking if calling for the genocide of Black students would be against their ethical code? If any of them, even though they had tons of lawyers on them, so obviously they're given what to say, it doesn't matter. There's no way in hell any of those universities would have ever allowed them to react the way they did. And if they did, they would all be screwed. America would be going ballistic. People would be protesting outside of all of these freaking universities. But going for the genocide Jews, it's like, oh, well, that's fine.
Right.
They don't count. Like, it's just not real. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I think as we've grown into a society where more and more people can share their opinions, we've come to realize just how dark and twisted so many people are, and it's like that's just what it is. You're not going to change them. It's really
frightening.
I feel like Israel wants to like take out the heads of Hamas. I don't even think they're in Gaza. They're in Qatar or something. The guy, whatever his name is.
We don't know anything, and those tunnels go so deep. And could you like even imagine? Because all the people who are in the tunnels that are the Gazans and stuff and Hamas, they know these tunnels through and through. It is their construction. They know the whole roadmaps and everything. You have Israeli soldiers who are going into tunnels they're finding everywhere, and they have no idea what's in store for them. Right. And mind you, we have no idea how many people on our side are dead. Hamas, every day, I feel like it's like kind of like a roulette. What are the numbers for the day? And you have a girl standing there. It's 20,000. Oh, there's 20,000 Palestinians dead today. Like, they make up the numbers. Why would you even trust the terrorist organization who is providing the numbers? Why would you believe any of that? And even if somehow they were accurate, which they're not, how many of them were Hamas terrorists? How many of them are supporters of Hamas terrorism? None of those factors matter.
I mean, it's insane. It's literally
they make up numbers. It's
Hamas
like a joke.
Murder a bunch of people, they get attacked, and now they're saying Israel just killed a bunch of us, and the whole world's like, oh my god, Israel killed so many people.
Right?
It's insane. There are terrorists.
Should I just tweet out, oh my god, 500,000 Israelis dead right now?
Right.
But if
the
they
Gaza
do that,
health ministry is under the rule of Hamas. Like it's
such.
If you
a
just Google
joke.
Where did these numbers come from, Google will tell you it's from experts in the field who are working in hospitals. But the main thing is the Gaza health ministry. The Gaza health ministry is
that's what they
Hamas
keep calling it
run.
on the news, right? But they don't talk about that. They just call it the Gaza health ministry. People think it's a separate thing,
right? As if there's a separate government there. There is no separate government there. That is the government there.
It's a joke, including the director of the hospital who said yes, they did have camps set up within the hospital and tunnels underneath.
Right.
Weird. Oh my god, reminds me of that meme of what's her name. That like stupid psycho bitch who's playing Snow White, which like got pushed off another year. When she's talking in the interview about how it's from 1938 and it's about a man or whatever, and how he stalked her, she's like, weird. But that's literally what I just felt like right now.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Oh, you have to see it. Whatever her name is, the Snow White girl. What is her name? Maddie Ziegler. No, not Maddie Ziegler. I'm trying to find this bitch. Who is she? Rachelzler. Okay, that's what I thought. Maddie Ziegler. Rachelzler.
I don't know who that is.
She's literally like, if you never understood the meaning of what's that term? Like when you like, oh my god, I can't even think of the stupid word right now. I can't think of the word, but let me just show you this. Let me send this to you. Sent in the chat.
Send it over. I did not get anything.
It's in the chat.
The chat here? Ah, look at you.
Look at me now. What is that word? What it means someone's like intolerable.
Insufferable?
Thank you. That's the word. Insufferable. If you don't know what that is, she is it. Thank you. It was driving me nuts.
I'm on point with that verbiage.
Yeah, you are with that verbiage.
One thing I was ever good at in school really was spelling and English, so.
Spelling and English, like those are two different subjects.
I guess they were kind of the same.
It is spelling.
Well,
in English.
not when you're little. I don't know. When you're a little kid, even when I was in like first grade, we'd have spelling, and then we'd have like I don't know. It's all the same.
You're exactly because you what did you have besides the spelling? Social studies.
Yeah, I had a great teacher, Mrs. Aarons.
You
Was she a
did.
doctor? I had a crown. She was an English teacher, and she'd always say, "Don't try just using Cliff Notes. I wrote Cliff Notes. I'm gonna know if you didn't read the book."
Nowadays, it's freaking ChatGPT.
Yeah, I never read the book.
It's insane.
I read one book in my life for school. I think I told you this a million times. The Crucible was like 98 pages or some cheese.
And like I told you a million times, I played Thomas Putnam on Broadway. No, I'm just kidding. In Barry Lawn.
No.
Yeah. That was my theater debut.
I'm almost done with the 7th book of The Wheel of Time. And I'm officially crossed the halfway mark. So I only have 7.5 more books to go. 7 books.
Are you joking me? How many books?
It's 14. It's 14 books.
Oh no, but I can't even do that many audiobooks for one series.
You could because it's a story. It's fun.
Oh, it's a story? Oh, why didn't you say so? I gotta watch it now.
I mean, if you would just read it, force yourself to do it, I guarantee you'd enjoy it.
Right, but like maybe not this book,
maybe not this series specifically, but books in general.
Well, I read/listened to "The Woman in Me" by Britney Spears. Highly recommend. Not biased.
You read it cover to cover?
It's Britney Spears. Of course I did. Are you kidding me? Prologue and everything. I freaking read the thing at the beginning when it's talking about copyright and all that. I'm reading every detail of that. I want to read it again. And I have the audiobook from Michelle Williams, You Better Work. She did a very good job. It's very sad. It's very crazy. It's very sad.
I just got a notification. Someone just sent me a link that apparently the MacBook Pro is going from 16 gigabytes of RAM to 128 gigabytes of RAM.
No, that doesn't make sense. You don't go from 16 to 128. How many things have 128 gigabytes of RAM? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, it can go up to 100. Oh, I think it's just the MacBook Pro in general has an option with 128 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, how much extra does that make at? I wonder what that additional cost is.
That's insane. No one needs that. What do you need that much RAM for unless you're running 900 apps at the same time?
No, but is that the MacBook Pro? That's not the MacBook Pro. It's probably the Mac Pro.
No, this is the M3 Max.
Right. Exactly. It's probably the tower, not a MacBook like a computer, like a laptop.
No, this is a MacBook Pro.
It's the laptop?
MacBook Pro, 128 gigabytes of RAM.
The laptop?
Yeah, it's the M3 Max MacBook Pro. Buy a 14-inch MacBook Pro with M3 Max. You can do a 16-inch.
Finally went to even numbers.
Here, the 16-inch. Here. Oh, this is 48 gigabytes of unified memory. I don't know. I wonder if you could upgrade it, though, because that sounds insane. Here, memory. Yeah, you could do 128 gigabytes of unified memory of RAM. That is insane. You would need to be running...
How much does it cost? How much does it cost?
One, to upgrade from the base to 128, it's an additional $1,000. So it's $5,000. Well, that's with 1 terabyte of storage. If you want to do 8 terabytes of storage,
that's like crazy. Oh, I obviously need 8 terabytes of storage. The amount of selfies I'm taking all the time.
So then you got to add another $2,200 on top, and it's $7,200, or only $600 a month for 12 months, and you can get 3% daily cash back with the Apple Card.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, that's insane. It's crazy how fast. I mean, I feel like technology is way more advanced than most people understand, but we don't get to, as it dwindles down to the retail customer in our technology, it's going to take time until we catch up. There's always going to be like a separation between like what they're already working on versus like what we have right now, I feel like it's crazy what they have. Like they got bendable, LED bendable ultra widescreen monitors. It's just insane. Bendable screens is crazy.
My work computer at work. It's like a monitor that's like curves and everything. It's really nice.
Ultra wide, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, it was the first thing I noticed, and it actually I don't know why, but like, because my last job I had like a regular monitor and stuff in front of you, but something
Right.
about the curved, it feels more like immersive. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like in your head or because of the curve, like it feels like gets kind of your peripheral vision or something. I don't know. I like that.
Right. So MKBHD did a video on a massive ultra wide curved monitor, and it you literally has like these little handles. I'll send it to you. It's made by Corsair. It's 45 inches, and it literally just yoink, you just bend it. I mean, it's insane.
It has handles, and you literally pull it.
Yeah, you could pull out handles from the back, like small, just to make it easier. So you don't have to put your thumbs on the screen and just yoink.
That's crazy.
How crazy is that? Like you want
I
to
feel
go?
like they probably
No, I don't
also
like
a
flat
lot of these
screens.
companies buy the technology from Samsung, like the glass that
Right.
they have. A lot of these companies, including like
It's
Motorola.
so cool. It's so crazy. And like I was thinking about the other day, like our kids don't
Google
even like
too.
this generation of kids. They don't even think about anything. Like how is the screen illuminating and interacting with my touches? You know what I'm saying? How is my device sending information via the air
Totally.
to a printer and printing an image? I was printing out a picture of like a pony or a
Oh my
unicorn.
god, I'm like getting anxiety as he's venting this monitor because I'm watching this video.
Oh yeah,
Like
those
it's
cracks are
like,
nice. Those little
oh
cracks in
wow,
here.
that's wild.
It's like click, click, click. I was printing out a picture of a unicorn for my daughter the other day, and I was like, you ever just think about how crazy is it? How is my phone printing out this piece of paper? How does it send it to the printer? She's like, I don't know.
What's even crazier? The fact that you have
I
a
was like,
daughter
and I was like,
and two
these
other
are the things
children,
that,
another one on the way.
yeah. She's like, I don't care, just give me the paper. I'm thinking this stuff is mind boggling.
I love her. I don't care. Just give me the damn paper.
Right. No, she didn't actually say that, but she clearly wasn't as
Obviously.
interested in it as I was.
Yeah. No, it's pretty wild. We're living in really. I mean, I work for a company. We're an AI, and like the things
Right.
that we do are wild, and the stuff that's coming out, it's insane. So like, it's crazy. The world,
Right,
we're like living in the
listening,
future, but also the world's also falling apart. So it's like,
I listened to these two guys. They were I forgot what they do. Is fascinating. They were on Joe Rogan, and they did. I think they're like they work with an AI or something of that sort. I want to just pull it up so I know I don't just make things up. But anyways,
I mean, you do usually. So
they here no they oh here we go. They were just Aza Raskin and Tristan Harris. They're co-founders of the Center for Humane Technology and the hosts of this podcast. Oh, so what they're doing is crazy. They do here. It's an organization dedicated to radically reimagining the digital infrastructure. Its mission is to drive a comprehensive shift towards humane technology that supports the collective well-being, democracy, and shared information environment. So basically, what they were speaking about on Joe Rogan, and they quoted Munger or whatever his name was, Warren Buffett's partner who died, who famously said, "If you show me an incentive, I will show you the outcome." And what they basically explained was that if you look at what social media was created to do, what it's incentivized to do from the start, what Mark Zuckerberg's goal was not to connect people. It was to grab their attention, and it was to vie for their attention as much as possible.
I work in
Because of
marketing.
that,
That's what we do.
right,
It's like the
literally
whole point.
And so because
That's
of
why
that,
I love it.
right?
It's
And
crazy.
so one of the
The
things that
psychology behind it.
one of the things that they noted was a study that was done where they had, I think it was Republicans give assumptions about people, maybe based on how they looked at, or just gave their assumption about what Democrats think, and then Democrats gave their assumptions about Republicans think, and then they exposed them to like a ton of content, negative content about the other side, and or they showed a different group of people a bunch of content and then asked them those questions. They were so much farther off from what they thought that person actually believed versus their actual beliefs. And they were like, so if social media was geared, he's like, imagine if rather than just trying to get attention, we were actively utilizing social media to try to lessen the gap between what we think other people think and what they actually think. Because usually we're not that far apart than we think we are, right? And we're not that far separated than we think we are. But unfortunately, that's not what it's becoming. So that's what they're trying to like.
I do
push
social
for,
media for work. I'm on social media all day long. When it comes to my own social media, I rarely post on any of it. And if I do, it's LinkedIn for my company. But on my own social media, if I ever do, it's usually my cat or my dog. Rarely do I ever post. I hate what it's become for the regular everyday person, but for business and work, it's incredible, and that's what I do. Just
right. And one of the things he said, so Azaraskin, one of the things he said was that one of the things he worked on, he basically invented infinite scroll. And he used to go around Silicon Valley and speak at Google and these companies, pitching it to them. Like, rather than refreshing a browser, you could just continuously go. It never ends.
Yeah.
And that's what everything is now. You just go, and the content just keeps coming and coming. And so that was their big concern, was that AI now, it's a race. It's not about...
Oh, it's so beyond a race. It's crazy.
Right. So the incentive is not how can we utilize
help
AI
the world. It's never
to
what it's
help
about.
People as much as possible.
Nothing that the world does is for...
And so that's why we need... And that's why we should take the potential dangers seriously, because it's going to create them. And like one of the things he said, he made a very interesting point. I forgot what he said. Azaraskin, the same guy, was that, you know, when he created Infinite Scroll, it was to solve a very specific issue that he had. It was more like on the side. And he said, what I didn't realize was that my focus to fix a microcosmic problem for one person ultimately had a detrimental effect on the entire world. And so we can't be focusing on small things. That we have to really start taking into account. So that's why this company is all about, you know, trying to focus tech towards things that are ultimately going to try to help people.
Sounds like you're repping for them.
I just really enjoyed listening to it, because I totally vibe with that. I was like, yes, it's so clear. Everyone just wants your attention to suck you in as much as possible, keep you going on Infinite Scroll. Why do I need to continue watching videos? Like, what am I getting? I'm getting nothing. I think I'm getting something, and that's the thing. And then we justify it through the random spurts of like self-help videos that we watch that we think we're applying to our lives. You know?
Oh my God, I can't. Yeah, I hate the self-help videos.
Oh, but if you want to get rich quick, just buy Ty Lopez's course for only $67, and you too.
A month,
right?
Or a week.
Yeah, I actually just watched a video of a bunch of those gurus, like the Where Are They Now?
Off on some island that has no extradition laws.
He was the initial guy, but there was this guy on TikTok who I didn't even know about, Joe Woe or something, who Charlie of Moist Critical exposed, I guess, and then after that he deleted his TikTok and has been almost completely quiet since.
Is it that guy who was like super, super skinny and awful?
I think so. He didn't really have any money at all. He just had
but he pretends to have a lot of money and would talk. He was like a Andrew Tate wannabe, and then he was also like knocking Charlie for like working out.
So this other young kid he covered, I forgot his name. He was a kid. He was young, very young, and it would turn into a Ponzi scheme where he only invested like 600,000 of the investors' money into crypto and spent the other like 16 million, and then couldn't pay them back. And then he was kidnapped, had the garbage beaten out of him, and had a video filmed where his whole face is smashed up, apologizing. The guys who did it
bring back the $16 million though? Yeah.
No.
That's really, how do you, like, you have to really go through, like, you have to do a lot of work unless you're just buying a crazy ass mansion to go through $16 million that fast.
Or just be so, well, he was living in an apartment at the time that was $45,000 a month in rent. And then he was his car. I mean, you're so dumb. You're just like, oh, look, I'm going to the crypto is going to explode. I'll put only 600,000 in. I'll make 40 million.
People are so dumb. It's mind-boggling.
Right. You think, like, how could you actually do that? How could you actually be that dumb to go and spend all that money on stupidity? How could you be that stupid? But there are people that I guess are really that stupid. And
like Mom always says, and I quote her all the time, is there's just no shortage of stupid in this world. And nowadays it couldn't be any more accurate.
Right. Common sense ain't that common no more. It's like a classic dad joke.
Totally. He would have laughed at it afterwards also.
Also, the picture of Tessa you sent, because I wanted to bring her up, was adorable. I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday who has a cat as well. And then I was speaking about how I want an animal really bad. And then we were speaking about Tessa and how she was lying across your shoulders and how I just wanted
And
an
mom
animal that
cannot
was
get
on top
over
of
when
me.
she was over. Because, like, she's, like, all on top of me.
Right, I know. I was like, I just want to have an animal that is in my personal space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah,
She's not here right now because she's in my room. Otherwise, she'd be on top of me.
His cat, he told me that he felt like she was this really, like, smart and like, proper. So he named her Stanley Rubric Perishables.
SRP.
SRP is exactly what I said back to him after he said that. Was SRP. We're the same person. We're the same person.
And by the same person, I also mean returning into our father, and it's even more frightening.
Right.
Oh my God. It is hysterical. Yeah. Okay, well, I feel like that's
keep
really
it short.
everything.
Not much else, yeah.
The world's gonna fuck, guys. Pray.
Well, hopefully tomorrow will be a better day than today. And we'll continue that way.
And bring them home.
And bring them home. And hopefully things won't be as depressing and sad.
Yeah.
But hope everyone's well and stay strong.
Catch you in the next one. Hopefully things will be a little bit lighter next time.
Hopefully we'll catch you in the next one when things are hopefully, God willing, better. And take care, everybody.
Bye.